One of the most important things I had to learn as a busy young mother and entrepreneur was to stop caving in and saying yes to every request for my help or resources. You know, once you get a reputation for being the one to call, they will keep coming for you. Your family and yourself will suffer from an inability to say a clear and firm no. Welcome to Morning Tea. I'm Joanne Jolie, coming to you from the Pinnacle American Record Studio at the Peaks, overlooking the magnificent metropolitan Phoenix Valley. As good and decent people, of course we want to be helpful, and it pleases us naturally to hear people expressing gratitude for our help, but as always, there needs to be balance and a proper order of things. Here's the proper order of things. Number one, your needs come first. You have to be strong and healthy and at the top of your game to be able to manage anything else properly in your life, whether it's your children or your business team or your charity and volunteer work. Next come your family's needs. At different stages of child rearing, if you're sleep deprived, if you're stretched really thin, this may be it. It may be the end of your energy, and so be it. Before you know it, the kids will be grown up, they'll be gone, and you will have heaps of time and energy to spend elsewhere. And third, with your needs and your family's needs all looked after, you can consider what else you can say yes to, how much you can work, how much you can play and volunteer, etc. At any moment that a number 3 event starts to slice into the first and second priorities, it needs to go. And you need to say, not now, or thanks for thinking of me, or I truly wish I could, but I will not be able to this time. You don't have to provide any reasons. Don't feel like you have to make excuses. Just make your statement. Make sure you announce your decision politely and firmly. Do not leave a loophole in your presentation of the no. You don't want to leave any room or opening for negotiation, because this is going to show weakness. It's going to say that you're not fully committed to the no. You want to bring that conversation to finality without excuse. No half-hearted or confusing responses, no lies, where you say yes but you really mean no. In our close relationships, like our marriages, we might say yes to keep the peace, but we have no intention, or perhaps we don't even have the power to do the thing that's being asked of us that we've promised to do. So honesty is called for here. And you can say, I understand why you're asking, but I know that I can't do that. So why don't we talk about this? Why don't we talk about alternatives, how to get this thing resolved? And it'll show you care. And it will also show that your word can be trusted. It's just so much better in most situations, if not all, to tell the truth as kindly as you can and make this the launching point for getting results. Saying yes when you mean no just kicks the can down the road, but now you have an additional problem. Your word is not going to be respected and you're not going to be believed. If you have a disproportionate need to be liked, or you try to avoid conflicts, then this is going to take some practice for you. Years ago, I had to learn to deal with an abusive person while I was going through court proceedings, and I practiced by limiting the necessary conversations to the phone, and in front of the phone I had cards written out. I had rehearsed, but I could read what I knew I needed to say at that time. I needed that support system to manage the heat that was being brought down on me, along with the manipulations that would throw me off kilter. And this was hard, but that practice strengthened me for other situations since then. And I look at things differently now, and I really see these things as golden opportunities to continue growing. Now, in a bit of contrast to this, there are a lot of no's that have to be dished out when you're raising your children. When I was raising my children, I always went in with as many yeses as possible, so that when the answer was no, it was absolute. There was no debate, no negotiation. It had impact. And even with the no's, I tried to provide an alternative. I'd say, why don't we look at this possibility over here? Listen to these words of wisdom. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. Now think about that for a moment. The next time you're waffling and you say yes when you mean no, which is really lying or caving in, examine your motives. You might find that you have a desire to win favor with a number 3 event while sacrificing your family, which is being disloyal. Or you could be trying to avoid conflict, which is cowardice, acting in fear and weakness. These are really tough moments when you know that no is the right answer, but they're wonderful opportunities that you should grab hold of and use to exercise and grow stronger in your ability to say that firm and unequivocal no. For example, I was a stay-at-home mother. I homeschooled my 5 children, and my family was always my first priority. And I worked my other things and my businesses around the family's needs. I was there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we had dogs and cats and rabbits, litters of them, and the lizards and the fish and the birds and the screaming parrots. All the kids played at least the piano and a second instrument, so the house was, bottom line, a tornado from sunup to sundown. After 30 odd years of that, I was full. I was very satisfied with the work I'd done. They grew up and they moved out, and then the grandbabies started arriving to my now very quiet life. So I made it clear up front, I am not a stay-at-home daycare grandmother. I'm the fun nana. I am the ice cream nana, movies, sailing adventures, these sorts of things. I was very clear whether they liked it or not. My children understood, and they've never engaged me in a conversation even where I have had to say no. But when you do say no, you may now be unliked or misrepresented. Remember that any reaction like that is really a reflection on those people. So step back and see that person for what they've revealed about themselves and perhaps how they've been using you. You can take all of this into consideration. Do you really want that type of person in your close circle? But most of the time you'll probably find that people just respect you more, and you certainly will gain respect for yourself. Try to look at the best in the requests that you receive and be very gracious. Thank you for thinking of me. Or if this is the truth, you can say, I really wish I'd been available. Will you please call me next time? Or you can say, I have to tell you this, I never, ever do that. Let people know up front, and they will see you as someone who is strong in your convictions and your word. I had a situation just this week where I was asked for a really big favor from someone very important to me, and I didn't want to say no and disappoint that person, but it would have compromised one of my values, which I won't do. So I sat on my response for a couple of days and finally told her, you know what, I wish you well with the project, but I just have to say no to any involvement. And I told her why, even though I knew she wouldn't agree with me. It was my hope that she would be reasonable and respect my position, which she did. And it really proved the strength of our relationship, where we have differences, but where love and respect are regarded above all. So get your priorities in order and start practicing saying, thank you, but I'm sorry, I just can't do that. The answer is no. Thank you so much for being here today. If you enjoyed this, and I assume you do because you're still here with me at the end, then please subscribe to this channel. You're on your way. These videos are for you. They're designed to inspire you, to encourage you on that journey, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.